By the time Princess Kaelyra realized she had chosen the human, it was already too late to pretend destiny had asked permission. She had rejected generals, princes, heirs from worlds where oceans glowed silver, yet the one soul she trusted most was Elias Vale, a quiet Terran engineer with grease on his sleeves, and the dangerous habit of telling the truth beneath the palace of Orlis. She placed her hand on the ancient succession crystal and whispered his name as her chosen protector, chosen witness, and chosen voice if the throne ever demanded one. The crystal answered with human heartbeat light, and Kaelyra hid that light from the Empire. No alien court understood humans. Not really, they saw them as short-lived. Reckless creatures from a blue world that had barely survived itself, useful, amusing, but never worthy of standing beside Imperial blood. Kaelyra knew this. Elias knew it too, which was why he never asked for ceremony or reward. He only came when she sent for him, repaired machines the palace scholars called sacred, decoded doors no noble dared touch, and listened when the crown became too heavy. Then her mother found out. Queen Veyra entered the archive without guards. Wearing white battle silk and the crown of 7 moons, in her hand burned the crystal. Now pulsing with a human rhythm that made every royal sigil flicker, mother and daughter faced each other across 1,000 years of tradition. You chose a human, in secret. Kaelyra did not lower her eyes. I chose the one person who never lied to me. That answer nearly shattered an empire by dawn. The court gathered beneath the glass dome of the Hall of Ascendants, and Elias was dragged in wearing a prisoner's collar that looked absurd around a man who had spent the night fixing palace water filters. The court expected him to tremble. Humans were supposed to tremble before alien royalty. But Elias looked at Kaelyra, then at the Queen, then at the dome above them and said, "Your northern support ring is cracked." The hall went silent. A duke laughed first, then others followed. Because a condemned human had just criticized sacred architecture during judgment. Queen Veyra leaned forward. Perhaps Terrans meet death by speaking nonsense. Elias tilted his head. "No, Your Majesty. We meet death by noticing what everyone else is too proud to see." The laughter died above the Queen's throne. A hairline fracture glowed faint blue, visible from the royal floor, unless one understood how old alloys failed under heat stress. The priests had called the hall blessed. The engineers had called it eternal. The nobles had called doubt treason. But humans had no patience for sacred incompetence. Elias stepped forward until the collar shocked him. He grunted once, stayed standing, and pointed upward. Evacuation would be wise. No one moved, then the sky fell, the northern ring tore open. Storm wind punched through the breach. Banners and masks flew, soldiers stumbled. The Queen's throne platform buckled, and Kaelyra saw her mother throned beneath a falling arch of transparent stone. No royal guard reached her, no admiral crossed the collapsing floor. But Elias did, collar sparking, shoulder bleeding, one human running into a disaster the Empire had called impossible. That was the moment they saw what humanity truly was. Not stronger than steel, not older than stars, just stubborn beyond reason. Elias reached the Queen and jammed a broken honor blade into the throne mechanism, using it as a lever to shift the falling arch by the width of a hand, enough for Veyra to breathe, enough for Kaelyra to pull, enough for life to remain where death had already made its claim. When the guards arrived, Elias was on one knee. Holding the weight with shaking arms, Queen Veyra stared at him from beneath the wreckage. "Why?" Elias answered without drama. "Because she is your mother?" The words struck harder than any weapon because every noble knew he could have demanded freedom, status, or proof that humans deserved respect. Instead, he gave the simplest reason in the universe. And somehow it made the Empire feel small, but the danger was not finished. The dome breach triggered the palace defense lattice. Ancient weapons buried in the walls began waking. Mistaking panic for invasion, targeting signatures flashed across the floor. Royal blood, military command codes, priestly authority. Everyone important was being marked for execution by their own ancestors. Every alien override failed, but Elias was already watching the rhythm of the lights. Counting, learning, surviving the way humans always survived. By turning terror into pattern, "Give me the crystal," he said. The queen looked furious. "That relic answers only to bloodlines." Elias looked at Kaelyra. "Then it already answered wrong once today." Kaelyra tore the crystal from the royal chain and threw it to him. Gasps rose from the court. Elias caught it, and the crystal flared around him like captured sunrise. The defense lattice hesitated, recognizing succession authority, but not the species carrying it. In that hesitation, Elias did something no imperial tactician would have tried. He did not command the weapons to stand down. Commands required rank, lineage, arrogance. Instead, he gave the machine a maintenance request. Emergency structural failure, prioritize civilian preservation. A human had just defeated royal murder machines by treating them like broken equipment. The weapons paused, recalculated, and folded back into the walls. The trial resumed 3 hours later. Because empires are ridiculous even after nearly dying, Elias stood without a collar now. Arm-bound, face pale, Kaelyra stood beside him, ready to lose the crown if that was the price of her choice. But Queen Veyra raised one hand. "My daughter chose in secret," she said. "And secrecy wounds trust, but she did not choose weakness. She chose the one being in this hall who saw danger before pride, saved a rival before himself, and spoke to our ancient systems with humility instead of entitlement." Then the queen descended until she stood before Elias Terran. She said, "Your people are young. Painfully young, your majesty. Your people are fragile, extremely. Your people are impossible." Elias gave a tired half-smile. "We hear that often." Then the queen bowed, enough that history changed its breathing. And across the stars, the message spread faster than war. Never measure humanity by lifespan, titles, or technology alone. Measure them by the moment everything breaks. Because when proud civilizations freeze, a human will run toward the impossible. Notice the crack, hold the weight, save the enemy, and ask if anyone needs the water filters fixed.